Hey guys, this is my son Will.
Hi.
He's going to help me do the schedules of reinforcement demonstration that normally we would do in class if we met for class. So he's going to be a rat, and normally the rat and the Skinner box would press a lever, but Will doesn't have a lever, so he's going to tap his pencil. There you go. Okay. So as you read in Chapter 7, there are 4 schedules of reinforcement or punishment that we can use. So I'm going to show you the rule. Basically, it's a rule that you're on. And so here's the first rule that Will's going to be on. So if you can read that, pause it if you need to. But essentially, you know, you can see this word ratio is important. That has to do with the occurrence of behavior. So let me take this off, and we're going to, Will's going to start working. Now, he's a rat, and he doesn't know what the rule is. So all he knows is he works for food, and every rat and every human follows the same rule, where they don't want to work, they want to get as much reinforcement as possible, but they don't want to work harder than they have to. Okay, Will? So you don't want to work harder than you have to, but you really like, okay, wait, I wasn't ready. Okay, and go.
Ooh.
And if you think you know what rule you're on, you can tell us too. Most people don't figure it out for like 15, 20
Every time I tap 25 times, I get off.
Oh, that's pretty close. Okay, so the actual
Was
rule.
it 30? Was it 30?
It was 30. It was,
oh, I can see the 30 right there.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is a fixed ratio 30. Now the
I
thing
started counting and I actually counted 26.
You're lucky. Sometimes we'll get rats with superstitious behaviors. They'll do weird number of taps, or like they'll tap around different places. But the thing with ratio schedules is all it really is contingent on is the number of times you do the behavior. And so if you work really fast, you're going to get your reinforcer sooner. Or if you sit there and you're kind of really slow and lazy about it, it's going to take you longer to meet that 30 taps to get your reinforcer. Okay, we're going to try different rules. Okay. Close your eyes. Let's see. And change the rule here. Kind of go down. We're going to go down to this one here, guys.
How many rules are there?
There's 4 rules. Okay, so let you guys read that. If you need to pause, see what it's about, look it up in chapter 7 if you want. Okay, so this is the same and this is the same, but see how it's different here? Okay, all right, so let's see. Now, Will, you're going to have to do this one maybe without looking at the computer. Can you do that?
Okay.
Okay, don't look at the computer because that will ruin it. Actually, I could probably remember this. Okay. All right.
Can I look at the computer?
You can.
Okay.
And go.
Ooh. I don't know what it is.
You getting confused?
Is it the faster I do it, the...
Well, that would work, because what we're, this time, I'll show you the rule again. We had, yeah, I gotta find it though. Here we go. We had, gosh, hang on guys. Go to screen share, variable ratio schedule. So what it means is, again, it did matter how quickly you did it, you would get your reinforcer faster, your penny faster, but the number of taps changed every time.
Oh, so it's like 40%.
Yeah, I didn't follow those numbers exactly, but I did like in the 40s and then 15 and then 22 and then 3. And so with variable ratio, rats and people tend to work really quickly because it's so unpredictable. They might only have to do a few more taps and they get their next reinforcer, or they may have to do a bunch more taps. You never know. It's really hard to figure out. Okay, don't look at the computer. We're going to go to rule number 3. Rule number 3. This is kind of a different one. Okay, here we are. So you guys can read that for a second. If you want to look it up in your book again, just to see. Okay. Now this is going to require an extra little. Here, scoot back over so we can see. Oops. Okay. So for this, as an experimenter, I'm going to use a little extra tool here.
Is it the stopwatch?
I'm not going to tell you. Yeah. Can you see that?
It's a stopwatch.
Okay. Stop. Okay.
No.
All right. Now, I have mail. Okay, go. I did cheat a little bit, and I did tell my rat that on some of these schedules, the faster you work, the better. But on some of them, it doesn't matter. Oh, he's slowing down. You can't even see time there. Don't look well. You can open your eyes, just don't look at the screen. All right. So you slowed down. Do you have any idea what your rule was?
I think like every maybe 10 seconds, if I was slow enough, I would get something.
Actually, this was called a fixed interval, 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, first 30 seconds had to go by, and then the next tap, you would get reinforced.
Yeah.
So for some of the things we do, we get reinforced. There's a time component. You still have to do the behavior. You had to tap, but you could have just not tapped for 30 seconds and then done one tap and still gotten the penny. So there's this whole time component. And then the fourth one, where we won't actually run it, but you guys can read it, is, yeah, it's variable ratio. So it's the same thing where there's this time component. So you have to wait, but it changes every time. So first, if it's an average of 30 seconds, maybe you have to write 44, and then 48, then 28, and 32, then 8, and all these. So I have all these numbers here, which basically is each one's a trial, and they can be short or long, but they average out to 30 seconds. And those, you get slower responding on interval schedules because you're just sitting there waiting. It's kind of like you're waiting for the bus, or you're waiting for something to happen, you're waiting for the mail to come, but you still have to do behavior. You like have to be at the bus stop and pay and get on. You still have to check your mailbox, but you can't speed up the reinforcer by working harder. So that's your absolute number one question when you're doing examples, you guys, is ask yourself first, could I speed up my reinforcer by working faster or harder? And if the answer is yes, you're on a ratio schedule. If the answer is no, you are on an interval schedule. And then the second question you have to ask yourself is it predictable each time, usually the same each time, or is it just kind of unpredictable and it changes? So predictable is fixed, unpredictable is variable. And those two questions should help you get all these examples about schedules of reinforcement correct. All right, so go do your worksheet.
Bye.
And thanks to Will here, and see you guys later.